Welcome to the regular season finale of FAU in the SEC, Year 2. The Owls are heading into Starkville, Mississippi to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And this is a chance for the Owls to complete an incredible regular season run that could shock the world. If they win this game, they will finish 9-3, 6-3 in the SEC, and they will likely be headed to the college football playoff as they are ranked 10th right now. It's been an improbable run, winning a number of close games, knocking off one far superior opponent in the Texas Longhorns on the road, really only getting blown out once. That was Alabama on the road by 3 touchdowns, and for the most part playing pretty clean games in every game this season. We were able to close the talent gap a little bit from year 1 to year 2. In year 1 we went 5-7, but we went 2-7 in the SEC. Our only conference wins last year were Mississippi State and LSU, so coming back here to play Mississippi State again, we are feeling pretty confident heading into this one in a way we really haven't been in any other SEC game thus far. Especially after last week's game when we went into Auburn and won. I believe the score was 42-17 in our most impressive performance thus far yet in this dynasty. But don't let all that fool you. This team is still an 83 overall, I believe, and quite outmatched against most SEC teams. However, Mississippi State is not one of them. As you see there, we convert a huge 4th down on the first drive deep in our own territory. That would have been a terrible start to the game to give that one up. Our quarterback is the South Carolina transfer Lenoris Sellers. Big 6'2", 240-pound mobile quarterback. We use him a lot in the quarterback run game. He's been a huge difference maker for us this year as we come out in a triple option look. 2 running backs. One's going to motion around, fake to him, and then we're going to pitch. And that doesn't go well. The ball's on the floor. Mississippi State is headed the other way. They're going to walk in for a touchdown. And that is not what you want, just after I said we've played mostly clean games this year. These are the kind of mistakes that could get us upset on the road. And this would be a really demoralizing one to drop because all we have to do is beat the worst team in the conference to get into the college football playoff. If we can't do that, that would be really disappointing. Granted, we have no business being in the college football playoff, but still, it would be fun to sneak in there in year 2. I think that would really jumpstart the progress of our program, probably help us out in recruiting a lot, which has not been great thus far. So here we're coming back on our second drive, trying to respond to that turnover on the first drive. We've got a jet touch pass called here. We got Platt coming in motion. He's going to take the pass, and he's going to be tackled for a loss of 2. Platt is our slot receiver. He's really been coming on strong lately, had some big games. Here we're going to try to generate a shot downfield. Don't like what we see, try to check it down, but we throw it a little too early before the running back can turn around, and that's going to be an interception for Mississippi State. They're really set up in business now. Our defense is going to come out on the field for the first time on a short field at a very disadvantaged position, and we need them to make a big stop for us here. One of the ways we're able to stay in so many games is by not making these kind of mistakes and not letting things snowball out of control. It happened to us a number of times last year where once we got behind, we just didn't have the talent to keep up, and things would kind of snowball on us, and close games would turn into blowouts very quick. Here they keep it on the read option. I run right by the quarterback, and I'm able to strip the ball downfield, however, but the ball bounces right out of bounds. Mississippi State comes back with the hurry up now, as they are already inside the red zone on us. Let's see what they decide to do here now on first down. They got a receiver coming in motion across the formation. They're going to hit him with the jet touch pass, and our linebacker, Basante, comes downhill and makes a tackle in the backfield for a loss of 2 yards. That was a nice play by him. Now they're going to line up a couple receivers outside, but they audible the formation, bring them back in closer to a more tight formation. They throw over the middle and complete that for 8 yards to set up a very manageable 3rd and 4. Now on 3rd down, they're going to go empty set. QB in the gun. Bring the linebacker back just in case they run, and they do. They go QB blast. This is one of my favorite plays. But it doesn't work too well for them. They're going to be on 4th and 3, and they are going for it. And they line up. We expect to run to the left as we shade that way. They do it, but they convert it anyway as we were unable to stop them. And now it's going to be 1st and goal. They come out in an empty set again, stacked to the left. We're in a cover 2 look, trying to guard these short routes, but they find a man on the outside wide open, and he walks in for a touchdown, and Mississippi State goes up by 2 scores early. The Bulldogs kick the extra point. It is up and good, and it is 14-0 here in Starkville. And FAU is shell-shocked. This is not the start they expected or that they wanted. Coming out on the kickoff return, Smith Jr. makes a couple cuts, sees a little bit of daylight, but can't quite break through. Gets to the 25-yard line. Now we come out in a 5-wide flood look. We got a receiver open on the corner route against cover 2, and we're able to hit the hole shot. He's so open that the red bar doesn't even matter. Now we come back in an RPO read here, giving Sellers 3 different options. He can hand off, keep it, or throw it. This time he throws it out to the flat to the running back, who makes a good move in space and is able to pick up a first down. That's our backup running back, Mobley. Our typical starter, Jamari Sands, was out for this game with an injury. Now we got another RPO, a motion screen. We can hand it off or we can throw it out wide. On the screen, we get a lot of space as the defenders come inside and leave the outside open. And then we hit an awesome hurdle, but then our receiver gets cracked on his way back down to the ground and fumbles the ball out of bounds, luckily. So that will not result in a turnover. Kind of a cool play, though. Now we're coming back with another motion look, this time an RPO where we dump it off to our tight end, who's our highest overall player on the team at 84 overall, but he is also kind of slow. But he's a junior who could return next year, and I think we'll gladly take him back. Now we line up quads to the right, try to throw this zig route, but the safety comes crashing down. Knocks it away, and we're going to have a 3rd and 5. We come back in the same formation. We're going to run our QB blast play that I told you I like. And we pick up 6 yards on 3rd and 5 for a first down. Now we're coming back on first down. We're going to run a jet HB punch where we bring a jet motion over, and we pull a guard who opens a hole up the middle for Mobley. Picks up 5 yards. Out of the tackle over formation there, we had our left tackle over on the right side. Good play for creating an unbalanced look, but the defense responded to it pretty well there. They lined up, shaded over to the right side. Now we're going to run a rocket toss out to Mobley around the corner, and he's able to get down to the 5-yard line. Huge play out of the flexbone formation that FAU likes to pull out every now and then. Now they come back with another RPO read. This one Sellers is going to keep, and he can practically walk into the end zone. So FAU with a good response to get right back in this game in the early second quarter after falling behind 14-0. As Lenoris Sellers is hitting the gritty and pay dirt. And now it's going to be up to the defense to get the ball back to the Owls to see if they can tie this one up. As the extra point is up, and it is good. A well-executed 9-play, 74-yard drive, and now FAU will kick this ball back to Mississippi State. State will field the ball a couple yards deep in the end zone and bring it out, and they will get tackled at about the 17-yard line. That's where they will set up shop. It looks like they come out in a 4-receiver look. We respond with a dime look, cover 3 in a cover 4 shell to disguise our coverage a little bit. They run up the middle for 3 yards, and here they come with the hurry up again. We go back into cover 3 cloud. They swing a dangerous-looking throw out to the receiver out wide. Gains 6 yards. Here comes 3rd and 4. Again in the hurry up. Again, we stick to our cover 3. I get stuck on a defensive lineman, but they make an inaccurate throw that hits our defender in the feet. And just like that, they're going to have to punt it back to us. All right, on 4th and 4, Mississippi State boots it back. We're going to field it at about the 31, make a cut around a blocker, and get up to the 44-yard line. Solid field position for our second drive. We come out in an option look. Now I'm thinking, what happened last time we ran the option? And I decide a halfback dive is better, and we call that. Mobley up the gut, breaks a tackle, and gets a first down towards midfield. Across midfield, actually. The logo confused me a little bit. We are on the plus 44 now. We're going to call another RPO read in a 2 tight end formation this time where we motion a guy out. They cover the run play. They cover the screen, so Sellers keeps it and has a nice lane. Gets a first down, fumbles. It's picked up by our second string tight end, so no harm, no foul there. Sellers has really not had a big fumble issue this year. I believe that is his 5th fumble of the year in 12 games. Which, for a quarterback who's running the ball as much as him, that's not too bad. We can live with that. He has not had big turnover issues this year. Also, single-digit interceptions still. By single-digit, I mean 9. So the next one will be 10. We go the HB punch there. This time we have to cut it outside and only pick up 3 yards. Now we're looking at this slot fade, hopefully. We're going to audible the running back onto an out route to get rid of the play action. Drop back, and it's not there. We're going to check it down to Mobley, who's able to gain a couple yards, get us to a manageable 3rd and 4 situation. Now we're going to come out, try to execute a red zone scissors look. Sometimes the running back gets matched up on a linebacker, gets open here. Thought that's what we had for a second, made the throw, then realized while I was holding the meter that corner outside was going to come crashing down, and he almost picked it off. So now we're back on 4th and 4. We're going to go back to one of our favorite concepts, mesh. This is a great play invented by Mike Leach and Hal Mummy. When they were inventing the air raid system, we're able to hit our tight end over the middle for a first down. I read a book about Leach and Hal Mummy, and they would run that play 50 times a game sometimes. So I do not feel bad at all about calling it like 10 times a game. They said it looked different against different coverages and the adjustments that the receivers and the quarterback would make, so they could run it 50 times and it would look different almost every time. I don't think that really happens in the video game, but it kind of did there, because I think one of the modifications is that sometimes the drags go deeper against certain coverage, or the drags sort of angle themselves upward against certain coverage. Again, I don't think the game is that advanced to make those modifications, but sometimes it just sort of naturally happens when your receiver gets caught up and the drag ends up going a little deeper because they make contact with a defender. But it's a fascinating book called The Perfect Pass, if that's something you're interested in. I believe the author's name is S.C. Gwynn. There's some funny anecdotes in there about when Mike Leach was first hired as the offensive coordinator for Hal Mummy at a small school called Iowa Wesleyan. They told Mummy he could hire whoever he wanted, and so he decided he wanted to hire Leach. Anyone who knows anything about Leach, he was kind of a quirky guy. So Mummy was like, look, you're my guy, but you got to come and talk to the administrators at the school. So he goes to interview with the athletic director, and the athletic director, I guess all he wanted to do in this interview, Mike Leach, was talk about scuba diving in California, because that was a sport that he had taken up when he lived in California. So after the interview, the athletic director goes into Hal Mummy's office, and Hal Mummy's like, what'd you think? And the athletic director's like, you gotta be kidding me, that guy's not a football coach. And Mummy goes, what did everybody else think? And the athletic director goes, they didn't like him either. To which Hal Mummy says, well, I don't care, you told me I could hire whoever I want. And I guess the rest is history. Now we're back here in the final 2 minutes of the first half, trying to hold Mississippi State from taking the lead back. We're going to come out in a blitz look here on 3rd and 6 to try to force a negative play. They're in an empty set, so we're using one of the blitzers. We get a free run at the quarterback, and we're able to sack him for a loss of 4. It's going to be 4th and 10. We call a timeout with 1:10 on the clock, as the Bulldogs line up to punt it back to the Owls here. This one will be fielded about the 45-yard line, and that is where Smith Jr. will be tackled. Coming out here on 1st down, we got a stretch play to the right side set up. We're going to hand it off. Turn the corner. Mobley gets around the edge, and he's able to pick up a 1st down, as we're already into Mississippi State territory at the 41-yard line. Coming back with an RPO read. We got throw it out wide again. Get to the edge. Terrell's able to turn the corner, setting up his blocks very nicely. He gets down to the 20-yard line, and we are in business. Here we come again with another RPO that's got a wheel route on it. We're looking to hit the wheel, but we just wait a little too long. It looks like we might have had it there, but the handoff happens before I can click R1. Coming back with a read option with the clock running now, and should have handed that off, but Sellers is able to cut back and get 6 yards. A 3rd and 4 coming up now as we call timeout with 20 seconds left. 1 timeout left. Here we call a slot pivot play and try to throw it up to our speedy receiver, Smith, on the outside, who had a one-on-one press coverage, but that doesn't work out. I think we had that deep in route that would have come open if we waited a second. Anyway, next play we run a flood, and we were able to hit Smith Jr. for a touchdown on the corner route. That is huge heading into half, as we're able to take the lead. We've come all the way back from down 14-0. And the extra point is up and good. We were up 21-14, and we just have to get through these next 12 seconds to go into halftime with a lead. Mississippi State will get the ball to start the second half, but that's fine. We did dig ourselves a little bit of a hole here, so it's just good to be going in with a lead. At this point, we are feeling quite good. given the start this game had, the fact that we were leading going into halftime really instills some confidence in us that we'll be able to get out of Starkville with a win. As they run up the gut here on 1st and 10, they're able to get 9 yards, but the clock is running down here and will run out, and that'll be the end of the first half here. So the FAU Owls score 21 straight, and the stats look a lot better than they did after the first quarter. We're up to 6.5 yards per play. Mississippi State only has 26 yards passing in the first half. And if they're unable to throw the ball better than that, this might not be a game that they can win. As they take the opening kickoff out, and they are tackled at the 16-yard line. Here comes State again, running back lined up to the left. We think we might get a run to the right. We do, but we're not totally ready for it. And he's able to gash us for a first down. Now they come back in the hurry up. They're really liking this. And they run a little RPO into the flat to the tight end. Looks very similar to a play we've run a couple times. Now they come back here. Looks like the running back punch play that we've run a couple times. As they pull a guard and they're able to open a hole up in the middle. Now they come back on a speed option, and it works out a lot better for them than it did for us, as they execute the pitch well and are able to pick up a first down. Now here on first down, they go back to the run. They're able to break a tackle, gain 5 yards. That's a little frustrating because we're able to hit near the line of scrimmage. Here they come back with a read option as we lose contain on the edge again, and the quarterback is able to scoot for another first down as Mississippi State is driving here to start the second half. Now again, another handoff. They have not thrown a pass yet this half, I don't think. This time we're able to stop them for no gain at the line of scrimmage, and they come back again with a run, and our linebacker runs right past him. Actually, that is a defensive back. So now 3rd and 6 coming up as they get into the hurry up again, and we bring a blitz, and we're able to get another free runner at the quarterback and able to tackle him for a loss. It's 4th and 14, and Mississippi State is going to have to punt it right back to us. This punt goes out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Not a particularly great punt. They had a better chance to pin us deep, and they did not do it. Now we come out in a pistol with 2 tight ends, and we were able to run a stretch play, but we only gained 1 yard. We come back out in the same formation, trying to get our slow tight end on this wheel route. If he was fast, this might be a good strategy, but he's not. Protection does not hold up very well, and Sellers is hit as he throws, and luckily the ball just falls down to the turf. Now we call a scissors play. We see the single high, and we know that the middle of the field is not open. But I press the wrong button and throw an interception down the middle of the field. That'll be number 10 on the season for Sellers, so he's now into double digits. That really hurt because it looks like the corner route was open in man coverage. It looked like a cover 1 look from them. But they're coming back on a little sweep play to the running back to the outside. Breaks 1 tackle, but the second guy gets him. A gain of 3 yards. And now they're going to drop back to pass, and they're going to throw it right back to us. That's an interception. And down the sideline goes Tudley the third. Breaking tackles. Can he go? No, he's tripped up at the 34-yard line, but we are in business here now as we're going to come out in a counter option look. Start heading one way, come back the other. The pitch works this time. Mobley's outside, but their corner is able to make a good tackle in space to stop us for just a gain of 1. Now we're coming back in the wing-back dive, another play we like out of this formation. And we're able to pick up another 3 yards, bring us to a 3rd and 6. Now we're going to call another one of those running back corner routes out of the backfield, see if we can get him isolated on a linebacker. But again, the protection breaks down, and we are sacked for a loss. It's 4th and 16. We're at the 40-yard line, kind of in no man's land, so we just go for it anyway. Unable to hit our receiver on the corner route. And we set Mississippi State up in some really good field position. Now we come out in first down on an aggressive blitz look. We bring the blitz. They throw it quick. Looks like they had a mesh concept there. If that drag receiver stays up on his feet, he would have had a lot of room to run, but he falls down for just a gain of 3. They gain about 6 or 7 on the next play to set up 3rd and inches and then come back on 3rd down with another speed option look. They're able to pick up the first down, but there's a flag on the play. It's going to be a hold. That will bring it back, and they will have a 3rd and 9 now. So now coming back on 3rd and 9, let's see what they do. You'd think they're going to have to pass the ball here, but that's not something they've done particularly well yet. They motion the tight end over, and they hand it off up the middle. We were not expecting that, and they gash us for a huge run. Down to the 39-yard line on 3rd and 9. That one stings. We were so close to getting off the field. And then on the next play, the running back around the edge turns the corner, and he gets down to the 25-yard line. Now this looks like an RPO read look from them. They're going to hand it off to the back, and he's down the sideline, and no one's going to catch him before he gets into the end zone. We had a tough time clicking onto that defender in the end zone who had a shot to make the play. That is one complaint I have about this game sometimes. And now, around the edge, we get a free runner with a great jump who has a shot to block the extra point and keep us in front, but he doesn't quite get there. And this is a tied game as Mississippi State's able to convert the extra point. As now we get a look at the top 25 where we are ranked number 10. And now we will start the fourth quarter in a tied ball game, folks, with Mississippi State kicking this one off. Deep into the end zone, Smith Jr. will think better of it and just take a knee. Now we're going to come out in the inverted veer power read, a play that Lamar Jackson runs incredibly well. This time we hand it off and pick up just 2 yards. Now we're going to come back in a Wake Forest slow mesh look. Here the defenders outside are going to drop back, but I don't know what our receiver, who was supposed to be running the bubble screen, was doing. He ran forward instead of staying behind the line of scrimmage, and that ball's going to be incomplete. 3rd and 8 now. We're going to chuck it up downfield. We had the underneath route open. We got greedy, and we were not able to hit that corner route. So coming back on 4th down, we're going to go back to old reliable mesh. You see Square gets caught up a little bit. His drag route ends up being like 15 yards downfield somehow, but we were able to move to the right a little bit, buy some time, and hit him for a big conversion on 4th down to keep the ball. Now we come out in a speed option look. We didn't like running it to the left, so we run it to the right. And Sellers is able to turn the corner and gain 7 yards. Into Mississippi State territory now. We hand it off up the middle, but we lose 2 yards. Coming up on 3rd down now, we're going to go empty set again. And we're going to go QB blast with Sellers, who's able to make a move in space and get across the marker for the 1st down. Sellers has been massively effective with his legs in this game, as he has all season, but not quite to this level. And on a read keep, tries to cut back prematurely. Had a bit of a lane if he didn't do that. So now on 2nd down, we're looking for that fade route again, but the defender stays over the top. It's not there. We come back to that underneath curl, and we are way too late, and this is jumped by the defender. Number 18, he's heading back, and this is going to be an easy touchdown as Mississippi State, their defense is going to score their 2nd touchdown of the game, and we are now down in the 4th quarter. The extra point is up and good, and we are down 7 now with 3:42 left. What a turn of events. We did not expect this when we came back from down 14-0 to take a lead. We thought we were going to cruise. Now on the kickoff, cuts left, cuts right, back left, and he's got a huge lane, but he just can't quite pull away from the defenders. Man, if we had a returner with a little more speed, we might have scored 2 kickoff touchdowns in this game. Now we're coming back with the rocket toss to Mobley, who gets the edge, and he's got a big run out to midfield. I really love that play, but for some reason, every time I run it, the rushing yards by the running back gets credited to the quarterback. Now on the stretch, Mobley loses 2 yards this time. And we're going to come back again with the Wake Forest slow mesh look. Hopefully the receiver runs the right route this time. He does, and we're able to throw it out wide. And Platt is able to make a spin, break a tackle, and gain a big chunk of yardage down to the Mississippi State 30-yard line. And we are really in business now as we go back to our scissors look. Hopefully I can press the right button this time. No, we audible into a QB blast. And we're able to get 5 yards on 1st down. Stay ahead of the chains. Now we come back to that motion RPO that we ran earlier where we can hand it off or throw the screen out. We throw the screen as they leave tons of space out wide again. And he's able to make a spin move and get down to the 8-yard line. Now we are moving. Back to the mesh look now. Looks like they got 2 high safeties. Press on the outside. Smith actually ran right by his guy on the outside and would have been wide open for a touchdown, but we didn't see him on time. Came back underneath to Zeke Miller, who got popped and dropped the ball. Can't really blame him for that one. Now we're motioning the back over to get a screen. Got him out in space. He makes the guy miss with a spin move and then almost scores, but gets down to the 2-yard line. We hit the 2-minute warning, and now here we go. Need a touchdown to tie. We're going to go up the middle on the QB blast. Lenoris Sellers gets in for a touchdown, FAU. And the decision is no decision at all. We're going for 2. After the way Sellers has been automatic on these QB blasts, you knew we were going right back to it. And he walks in easily. We'll take a 29-28 lead here with 1:59 left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We're going to have to get a defensive stop. And all Mississippi State needs is a field goal to take the lead. They've got all 3 of their timeouts. We come out in a blitz look. Keep in mind, Mississippi State has barely been able to throw the ball today. They've very much been carried by us handing them turnovers and their run game. And so we come out in a blitz, get a negative play on first down. Now on 2nd and 19, they're going to chuck it up long. We click onto the defender, and he makes an interception. Perfect timing user pick. That is huge for the FAU Owls. And now we just need 1 first down, and we're probably headed to the college football playoff. On first down, we dial up Mobley on the wingback dive out of the flex bone. He gets a solid 4 yards, and Mississippi State calls timeout. Now on 2nd down, we're going to go back to our bread and butter, the rocket toss. We get around the corner, but the corner makes a nice play on the edge. Tackles us for just a 3-yard gain. Now here we go. Big 3rd down. We're going to go back to Old Reliable. We're going to dial up the QB blast. They got a lot of numbers inside, but Sellers off to the right side breaks a tackle and fights hard for those yards. And that should put FAU into the college football playoff. This improbable run is going to continue as we kneel this out and the clock runs down, and that will do it. It sure wasn't comfortable, but we never lost hope. We fought hard and we battled back. Overcame a deficit on 2 different occasions, and Sellers' teammates are congratulating him, and he deserves it. He's the player of the game, 4 touchdowns in total. Really did most of his damage on the ground in this one. It's now we check the team stats, and look at that, only 39 yards passing for Mississippi State. What a performance by this defense. We only averaged 6.3 yards per pass ourselves, which is not particularly good, but the running game was solid, it was steady, it kept us ahead of the chains, and that's usually not the case against these SEC teams. Normally we have to air it out a lot more because we usually just don't have the talent to match up in the trenches. But we're on about equal footing with Mississippi State, so we're able to run the ball better today. Sellers, it says 19 for 106, but I realized that that's because he's getting credit for the rocket toss runs as well. I don't think he had quite that many rushing yards, and I don't think the other guy, Mobley, had quite that few rushing yards. EA should definitely fix that. I don't know if it's that play only or if it's something about putting that play into a custom playbook or something. Here's Sellers' season-long stats. 34 TDs, 11 picks, 3.1 yards per carry, but 11 touchdowns. And Sands had 462 yards, 4 yards per carry. So our run game not totally all that effective in the SEC. Smith over 1,000 yards, and Platt maybe you can get there with a good showing in hopefully a playoff game. We picked up a new commit, Danny Schaefer, and Garrett Connolly as well as a gem middle linebacker. These are the conference championships. Here's Tennessee and Georgia in our conference, but check out Nebraska and USC at the bottom. There's absolute pandemonium in the Big Ten. There's like 5 teams tied in second place at 7-2. So check this out. Here's Nebraska's schedule. They lost a non-conference game to Cincinnati, and then they lost to Michigan State and Michigan. They beat Penn State. Michigan lost to USC, beat Nebraska, and lost to Ohio State. Ohio State lost to Penn State and lost to Wisconsin, but they beat Michigan. They don't play Nebraska or USC or Oregon. Oregon lost a non-conference game to Oklahoma State, and then has conference losses to Indiana and USC, but has a win over Penn State. Penn State has losses to Nebraska, and then they just lost to Oregon. So Penn State could have fixed this by not losing by 1 point, and they would have been in. And now also here's USC, who's the team that is in the Big Ten championship game. Lost to Notre Dame and Nebraska. They're about to get a rematch with Nebraska, but won all their other games. Gunnar Stockton is your Heisman winner from Georgia, throwing 50 touchdowns and 7 picks. I still contend that Lenora Sellers should have, maybe got some love. He wasn't even in the top 5. Keon Keeley wins a bunch of defensive end awards with 13 sacks, 20 tackles, and 25 tackles for a loss. And we made it. FAU against Penn State. We're going to go on the road for the first round of the college football playoff against the Nittany Lions. And here's your college football playoff bracket. We're away from all of the SEC teams. We're surrounded by a bunch of Big Ten teams. And here's Penn State's roster. They're absolutely stacked. Everyone came back for senior year. Abdul Carter, Drew Aller, Kevin Winston, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen. They are absolutely stacked. This is going to be a tough game. Like and subscribe and tune in next time to see if we can defeat 90 overall Penn State.